I'm Mac Duncan from Angelina County. I'm a local coordinator with the Texas Nationalist Movement in Lufkin. This is our first convention to attend and to experience, and it has been a phenomenal experience. The reception at the booth, whenever people would come by, and for us to be able to sign them up to have a vote for Texas independence. People from other states, from other countries that have come in, to be able to talk with them, to get them to see that Texas can be independent. The energy that you see, that you feel from them is phenomenal. To watch them know that they are setting the course for their future, that we are able to do this. We have all the resources in place. And so now to be able to go to the convention floor tomorrow, to have not one but two planks that's going to come up, to have that resoundingly approved, we know that we have the masses on our side. Supporters have grown exponentially since we've been here, and we are looking forward to that, to set the course for Texas freedom.
Welcome back to another edition of This Month at the TNM. We just got back from a really exciting time at the Republican Party of Texas convention in Houston. Your organization was on deck from the start of the convention, beginning with the formation of the temporary committees all the way through the vote on the platform by the delegates at the general session on Saturday. This convention was just full of victories for the TNM, and I want to express my appreciation for all those who volunteered their time to make it such a success. We'd like to take you through what happened in Houston and what your organization's role was in it. First, let's take a look at what the convention is actually all about. What is the Republican State Convention? Basically, it's the place where the party defines its shared beliefs and determines how to promote these beliefs. This is done by creating a platform and by setting rules and electing people to run the party between conventions. A party platform is a set of principles, goals, and strategies designed to address pressing political issues. The platform is broken down into planks or declarations that speak to each specific issue. These planks come from the resolutions that are submitted by you, the citizens. You may remember after the recent primary election we had last May, there were precinct conventions followed by county conventions. Many of you submitted our resolution and got them passed through both your precinct and county conventions. So many, as a matter of fact, that somewhere between 22 and 30 different county conventions passed it through to the state convention.
My name is Joshua Stambaugh. I'm a delegate from Senate District 22. I'm the local coordinator for the Waco group of the TNM. I'm also the youngest local coordinator for the Texas Nationalist Movement at 19 years old. And I can tell you here at convention, everyone I've talked to, and I've talked to at least 100 people, only one person didn't support our movement. 70% of Texas Republicans support not just a vote on Texas independence, but on Texas independence itself. You can see that here today at convention. And I can say, even though the vote hasn't taken place yet, I know that it passed, because that's what I've seen so far. Thank you.
Here are the two resolutions you guys sent up from your county conventions. In the Constitutional Issues Committee, Plank 33, State Sovereignty. Pursuant to Article 1, Section 1 of the Texas Constitution, the federal government has impaired our right of local self-government. Therefore, federally mandated legislation that infringes upon the 10th Amendment rights of Texas should be ignored, opposed, refused, and nullified. Texas retains the right to secede from the United States, and the Texas legislature should be called upon to pass a referendum consistent thereto. And in the State Affairs Committee, Plank 224, Texas Independence. We urge the Texas legislature to pass a bill in its next session requiring a referendum in the 2023 general election for the people of Texas to determine whether or not the state of Texas should reassert its status as an independent nation. TNM members were here at the beginning of the week, even before the start of the official convention. They were there representing the organization in the temporary constitutional issues and platform subcommittee meetings. The task of these subcommittees was to go through the resolutions that had been sent up from the county conventions, resolution by resolution, editing, striking, combining them into a set of planks to go into the platform. During this process, people were allowed to give testimony either for or against certain planks, whether they should be included in the platform or not. We made sure that we had people in both subcommittee hearings to speak in support of our resolutions. Fortunately, we also had supporters on the subcommittees themselves, making things a lot easier for us. Out of the 31 committee members, only 3 voted no on approval of the planks. That means 90% of the committees representing their entire Senate district voted yes, we want the vote. The official convention started on Thursday when delegates from all over the state showed up. The process of building the party platform continued as the planks worked their way through the temporary subcommittees to the permanent committees. Again, our members were on deck to be sure our planks didn't get sidetracked by misinformation or other means. More testimony, more fine-tuning of planks until the final platform finally emerged from the permanent committees with our planks intact. In addition to members testifying in the committees, the showing of TNM members just walking around the convention made an impression on the delegates. Everywhere you went, there were friendly members in Texit or TNM logo shirts, and many impromptu discussions were held from one end of the convention center to the other, often even spilling over into the host hotels. The response from people was overwhelmingly positive and enthusiastic.
Hi, I had a great time today. This is my first time to this kind of convention and my first time volunteering with the TNM guys, but I loved it. I had a lot of fun. It was easy. I just smiled and people were eager to be friendly, and they either were just curious or they were already excited. I had one lady hunt me down and she said, I found you, where's that book? I want to buy it. I said, right this way, ma'am. Mostly I just offered people a chance to ask a couple questions, and if I didn't know the answer, I pointed them to somebody else, and then we just had a good discussion. So to me, it was a party all day. Thanks.
On Friday, the business of the convention got underway with the election of the party chair and vice chair. Matt Rinaldi had run unopposed for chairman, so there wasn't much suspense there. The position of vice chair came down to a runoff between 2 good candidates, and after a vote of the delegates, Dr. Dana Myers was elected. We should note both of these qualified candidates were signers of the Texas First Pledge. Conventions usually serve as pep rallies for the party, so there's no shortage of speechifying. Many other Republican luminaries came on stage to rally the delegates, including Senator Ted Cruz, Sid Miller, and many other officials and candidates. Between speeches, delegates were treated to videos, including a quiz on Texas knowledge. Saturday was the final day of the convention. This was going to be a very important day for us. This is when the planks were going to be up for debate, and it would be in the delegates' hands whether to keep the planks as is, make amendments to amendments. It's a pretty crazy time. It's a full day of points of order, points of information, all kinds of parliamentary maneuverings. It's kind of like they say, this is where you get to see the sausage being made. Again, we were ready if someone tried to shoot down our planks. In a very unexpected plot twist and very welcome by all, it was proposed to limit discussion to 2 minutes per section.
This motion to actually move it to 2 minutes, maybe give us a chance to actually have a platform. Can I make that amendment?
That seems to be very popular. Yes, you can make that amendment to the amendment. There's been a motion to amend the amendment from 25 minutes to 2 minutes.
Brad Houck, Senate District 4, call for a question.
All right. Question's been called. All in favor of calling the question and voting on the amendment to the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion passes.
Our planks were in 2 different sections, constitutional issues and state affairs. One was near the beginning of the process and the other was down near the end. We had members standing by to rebut any attack on our planks if one came up. Fortunately, no one attacked our planks during the official discussion time, but there was one interesting aside someone brought up when a different plank was being discussed.
Okay. We have it up there on the screen. Would you like to speak in favor of your proposed amendment?
Yes, I would.
Hold on one second. Let me go to Mr. McKeag. Do you have a intervening? I apologize. Number 1.
Mr. Chairman, point of information.
Yes.
Mark McKeag, SD7. On plank 33, am I reading this correctly that our state convention is calling on the Texas legislature to hold a referendum for the state of Texas to secede from the United States of America?
Federally mandated.
Is that what's in plank 33?
Well, it's not germane to what we're dealing with, but I don't read that the same way.
And
To me, it looks like, yeah.
should be called upon to pass a referendum consistent.
We are going to, first thing I would point out, that's not necessarily germane to what we're dealing with right now. Secondly, we will get a vote for or against that plank.
Apparently, this guy hadn't noticed that there was actually another plank for Texas independence as well. Fortunately, voices like his were not heard much at this convention. After the discussion was completed on all the sections, it was time for the delegates to go through and vote on each and every plank. While we were at the Republican Party of Texas convention, we have to remember, this is not a Republican versus Democrat issue. This is a Texans versus federal government issue. There are a lot of limited government Democrats in Texas that we want to engage with, and unfortunately too many pro-big government Republicans. This is about Texans, and only Texans, deciding what is best for Texas. The Libertarian Party of Texas has included a plank in their 2022 platform that reads, Texas Independence. LP Texas fully supports the rights of the people to alter their form of government. As the U.S. federal government is increasingly expanding its influence well beyond its constitutional authority and clearly violating citizens' rights as guaranteed by the Bill of Rights, the right of the people of Texas to alter their form of government, as stated in Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution, must be acknowledged by allowing Texans to have an honest and frank discussion on the merits of independence and being allowed to vote accordingly to reassert Texas independence. Throughout the convention, the TNM had one of the busiest booths in the exhibit hall. Over 1,000 delegates were coming by at all hours, and our volunteers were more than happy to educate them on what Texas independence is all about. We also participated in a meet and greet hosted by the Texas First Signers and candidates for Land Commissioner Weston Martinez, current Ag Commissioner Sid Miller, and our own Daniel Miller. It was a great fellowship of like-minded people. This is a big victory for the cause of Texas independence, and we should all feel very proud of how things are going. 2 planks supporting independence and calling for a vote of the people made it through the committees and were voted on by the general delegation with virtually no opposition. That's really something. We want to thank all the volunteers that made this convention such a success for the TNM. Everybody from the grassroots submitting the resolution to their precinct and county conventions, all the way up through the boots on the ground in Houston. Even before this convention, all the work y'all have done, thousands of signatures on the petition, working hard in support of Daniel's campaign for lieutenant governor, pressuring politicians to get on board and sign the Texas First Pledge, including the former head of the Republican Party of Texas, I might add, as well as many of the candidates for statewide office. All this work is paid off in these 2 planks supporting Texas independence and giving us all a voice in our future. It's this kind of dedication that's going to see this thing through. We're closer than ever to our goal, and this is a very exciting time for our organization.
What's the time for? Texas!
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next month.